Hello friends, this is lesson 2 of NLP, Natural Language Processing. So in today's lesson we are going to cover the following topics. First we will be discussing NLP pipeline architecture, and then we will talk about NLP applications, some basics from Python, decision making in looping statements, and I will provide some examples for them. Now let's start with the first topic in C, NLP pipeline architecture. Based on NLP architecture, there are three main phases, friends. The first phase, what do we have? And first phase, it is called morphological and lexical analysis. What will happen in this phase? This phase actually scans the input text as a sequence of characters and splits them into meaningful parts as words, sentences, phrases, and paragraphs. So this is called the first phase functions. So these are the functions of first phase. It is taking the text as a sequence of characters, then split them out into some meaningful parts, words, sentences, paragraphs, and phrases like that. So what are the main tasks here in this phase? The main task, the first task is called tokenization. Tokenization will happen in first phase. What do you mean by tokenization? Breaking the text into tokens. Now what is token? Smallest individual unit. So that is called token. In here I have written token is not equal to word. Every word can be a token, but every token cannot be a word. This you have to remember, friends. So tokenization means breaking out the text into tokens, smallest parts, splitting them into smallest part, or we can say tokens. For example, here if you remember this sentence, hello world, so if the tokenization is applied, it will be converted into these three tokens. The first token is hello, then it is separated by comma, then we have the second token word, and again it is separated by comma, and then we have the last token period. So see here, this period is considered as a token, but that cannot be considered as a word. So that is why I told you that every word can be a token, but every token cannot be a word. So the next task what we have in this phase is called stemming. What do you mean by stemming? Stemming means converting the words into their roots. But you have to remember, friends, the root may be meaningful or may not be meaningful. Converting the words into their roots, the root may be meaningful or meaningless. Let's consider this example. We have three words here. So we have intelligence, intelligent, and we have intelligently. So if you are applying the stemming, what will happen? This will be the root for the three words, intelligent. So this intelligent is a word or a token which is meaningless, doesn't have any meaning, intelligent. So this is called stemming, converting the words into their roots. And again we have something else called lemmatization. So what is this lemmatization? It is the same, converting the words into their meaningful roots. This you have to remember, and this is the main difference between lemmatization and stemming. Here the root may or may not be meaningful, but here the root is always meaningful. For example, if you consider these three words, the same three words, it will be the root for them. What is the root? It is the root intelligent. For example, if I put is here, so now it is meaningless. It will be removing the last s from it, and it is converting it to the root. So this is the root. If I put here something called is again, so it is meaningless. What will happen? It will be removing the last s, and it is converting it to the root. It is a meaningful noun, right? So this is the difference between stemming and lemmatization. The root is meaningful, the root may or may not be meaningful, right? Now let's talk about the second phase of NLP pipeline architecture, and that phase is called syntax. What will happen here? It focuses on sentences formation. It will be considering the grammar, the words association. For example, if we consider he drives the car, this is an example. So what are the nouns, pronouns, adjectives, what are the relationship between them. It will be considering the formation, whether it has some right according to the format, syntax like that or not. So these are the main tasks in phase 2. It will be considering on grammar, the rules, chunking, breaking into pieces, feature parsing, splitting the parts of speech like noun, pronouns, adjective, those things, syntax analysis. It will be again considering the syntax, the formation of the sentences, right? Now see, the third phase is called semantic. What is the semantic? This step focuses on meanings of words, sentences or phrases, we can say. It will be considering on meaning of words, sentences and phrases. For example, here if the phrase is written like hot ice cream, what will happen? This is a phrase that does not have any meaning. Hot ice cream, how an ice cream will be hot, so this phrase or sentence will be dropped out because it does not provide something meaningful. Now the task here is frame extraction. It will be considering the whole paragraph or the whole sentence, and then it will be checking the meaning for whether it is meaningful or meaningless, like that. The whole, it will be framing everything, frame extraction. Now let's talk about the second topic. The second topic is NLP applications. So these are some of the applications, friends. You can refer the book. There are so many other applications. I have only listed some of them. So the first application is summarization. NLP is used for text summarization. If we have a huge text, a paragraph or a document, and we want to summarize that, so NLP is useful there for summarization. Then we have another application called information extraction. So the whole paragraph, if you're reading, or the whole document, it will be taking so much time, but applying the NLP there, you will be easily extracting the information and you will be summarizing that and understand what the document is talking about. So language generation, if you are good for generating a new language, for example, you want to generate a programming language, a language for chemistry, like to understand those words what we have, those expressions what we have there, you can use this NLP and create a new language. Like if you consider C, so C has some rules, C has some tokens, C has some expressions, and there we have some statements. All those statements, nothing but you can use NLP for creating the same like that. And then we have language understanding, friends. If you are talking in one language, automatically the application will be converting your voice, what we can say speech recognition, it will be converting to some other language and the person will be understanding that. Spam detection, whether the email is spam or ham, for that purpose also this NLP can be used. Machine translation, like as I said, one language to another language, we have Google Translate there. If you are typing something, automatically it will be translating to some other languages. Spelling checking or correction. You have seen that MS Word, if you write something and the spelling is not correct, it will be underlining that and will be recommending you the right words, like that. So these are some of the applications of NLP. I hope you understood this. Now let's talk about the second topic, which is some basics from Python. Since we are working with text, so we have to know something called character, string, text, list. We will be using list so much, and then set, we will be talking about variables. These are some basics you have to know. So what is character? Character is a single symbol within quotation. Any single symbol, if you consider, that is called character. It may be a number, it may be an alphabet, it may be like special characters, anything. So that single symbol is called character, and that will be written within quotation, maybe single quotation or double quotation. Then we have string. String is nothing but group or sequence of characters. If we are combining multiple characters, so that forms string. Now if you are combining multiple strings, grouping them, so that is nothing but text. But you have to remember, friends, text is not only a collection of strings. There are some sentences, we have paragraphs, we have like that punctuations or there, so many other things are there, but still in general we can say it is collection of strings. Now what is list in Python? So it is ordered collection of elements, same as array, but it is supporting multiple or more functionalities. So it is ordered collection of elements. It is a collection the same as array, but compared to array it is supporting more functionalities. Now we have set. Set is also collection of elements, but unique elements or distinct values or elements we can say. And then we have variable. You have to know what is variable. Variable is giving name for anything we care to calculate. According to programming, what do we say? Variable is nothing but the name for the memory location where we want to store the values. So that is called variable. Here, giving a name for something you want to calculate or care to calculate. Then the fourth topic is decision making statements in looping statements, friends. You know, according to programming, these decision making statements are used for taking decision, for example, between A or B, whether A you want to select or B, for checking the conditions. Some example here it is given like if statement, if else statement, switch case statement, if else ladder statement. So many statements are there. And then looping statements are used for performing an action repeatedly until the condition is true, or until it is maybe based on condition or how many repetitions we want, right? So for that purpose, if an action we want to repeatedly happen, so we will be using looping statements, like we have while loop, we have for loop, do while loop. These are the examples for them. Now let's see all these things practically here. If you remember in previous lecture, I did install Python in Jupyter Notebook. So I will be opening this one is Jupyter Notebook. Here I will be working. Now first we talked about NLP architecture, if you remember, and we said in NLP architecture we have the following three phases: morphology, syntax, and we have semantics. This is the input, the text which is coming. So when it is coming here, the first phase is here morphological and lexical analysis. It will be splitting the text into some meaningful parts, like here if you remember we have tokenization, stemming, lemmatization, all those things will happen. Then we have the next phase called syntax. Syntax, it will be considering like the grammar, the chunking, all those things will be considered here, right? It will be focusing on sentences formation, the grammar, words association, all that. And then we have the semantics. Semantics mean the meaning of the word, sentences or phrases. It will be considering if it is meaningless, it will be dropping that. If it is not that, so it is accepted, right? So these are the three main phases, and then we'll be getting the last output as a free of all those problems, errors, grammars will be checked, the meaning is also checked, everything's like that. Now here, friends, some basics we talked about Python. We said character, and character is a symbol within quotation, maybe single quotation in Python. I'm talking about Python, single quotation or double quotation, no problem. Now this is an example, friends. I will be accepting any character from the keyboard, and then if that character is between A and Z small, or from caps A to caps Z, so that will be considered as an alphabet. If it is between 0 and 9, that will be considered as a digit or number. Otherwise, that will be as a symbol. Let me execute by pressing shift enter. So it is asking enter a symbol. If I press S, so what it says, this is an alphabet between, okay, this one. Again, if I'm running it, so it is asking for a digit. If I put 8, it is saying it is a number. But if I'm running and pressing something like here, maybe this symbol, so it says it is a special symbol. And then we have here, friends, the string. What is string? So string is a group of characters within quotation. So here is an example. This is not a symbol, this is not a single symbol or character, but collection or combination of characters. So this is called string within double quotation or single quotation. We have hello and single quotation, and we have bird, and that is in double quotation. Now I want to print it. Here you have to remember, friends, here I am printing H. What is stored in H? It is hello, and then plus sign is used. What is this plus sign? Plus sign is actually used for concatenation, for combining, right? This you have to remember. Plus sign is used for concatenation. And then slash t, I have put 2 slash t's here. It means I want 2 tabs. 1 slash t, single tab, double slash t, it means 2 tabs. First string will be printed, then 2 tabs, and then again concatenated and combined with that W. And what do we have in W? That is word, right? And again, this one also you can in single quotation. See, the string is written in single quotation. Hello world, the whole hello world. And here I am multiplying it with 2. It means it has to be repeated 2 times. Now again, here we have in double quotation. This is the facility provided by Python. It doesn't giving error whether the text is written within double quotation or single quotation. But if you are using some other languages like Java, so this thing matters here. Now let me execute this. See, we have hello here, then 2 tabs and word, then this one hello word is repeated 2 times because here it is multiplied with 2, and then the last statement which is written within double quotation, natural language processing, that is printed. If you want a single tab, so that tab, 1 tab is removed and we have only 1 tab here. Here you can increase the numbers like this one. So now it is multiplied 3 times, right? For string, we have different functions, friends. Like some of the functions are listed here. Like if you want to see whether the string is starting with some character, ending with some character, whether the text is there within that, the character is there within the string or not, whether it is checking it is lowercase, uppercase. Like these are some of the functions, and some of them I have used here. I am considering a string here, natural language processing, and here I converted the string into uppercase, and again it is converted to lowercase. Here I want to make it capitalized. It means the first letter should be in uppercase, the remaining will be in lowercase. Here I want to count the number of characters A here, how many times it is repeated here within this one. And then I am checking whether the string is in uppercase or not. If it is in uppercase, it will be returning true, otherwise it will be returning false. I am checking whether this text which is written here, it is in title case or not. If it is in title case, it will be returning true, otherwise false. So here all the string is converted to uppercase, again they are converted to lowercase. Here we have capitalized form, capitalize the last character, you see, the first character is capital, then the remaining all are in small case. How many times A is repeated? 4 times. Then it is saying it is not in uppercase, false, because it is already converted to lowercase. It's saying no, it is false. But if we say whether this is title case or not, yeah, it is title case. If it is, remember, the first character is up, here also up, so it is returning true. Then we talked about text, friends. Text is collection of strings, and then we talked about list. Let me give you some examples from them. If you are creating a list in Python, we will be using this brackets, square brackets, right? So here I have created a list of fruits. So how many elements are there? This is the first element separated by comma, the second element, the third element, they are separated by comma. So this list is called homogeneous list because all the items are nothing but strings, right? Now if you want to print them, through the index also you can print, and through the name also you can print. So for example, here if I am printing through the index, if I put here fruit, the name of the list, and put 3 means the third index, this is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, and this one is the third index, right? So here I am printing the whole list, and here I want to print the list in sorted form. It means it will be sorted. And then I have another list here, friends. This is called heterogeneous list. So we have string here, we have number which is called integer, and we have another number which is called float. It will be in this form also. I just printed the list. And have another type of list called nested list, friend. One list within another list. You see here, this is the main list, and within this I have created another list. Then we have another list. This list, the whole list is considered as an element, the second element of the first list, and this is the third list, right? Now let me execute this and see the output here. Yeah, this is the output, friends. It is according to index, it is printing orange because that orange is in third index. And then the given list, the whole list I have printed here. This is the whole list. Again I have printed the whole list but in sorted form. So see, the list is already sorted, and this is our heterogeneous list, the last list, this one. And now this list is the nested list, one list within another list, right? Then we have in list some operations. As we said, list is the same as array, but it supports multiple functions. It has more functionalities, we said. So the first functionality is here, is called slicing. If you want to slice, for example, how many elements from which element to which element you want to print or access. So here you have to put the starting index, and here you have to put the end index, and they are separated by colon. Now this form, the first statement here, fruit, I have not mentioned the start and end, so this will be printing the whole list. Because I have not mentioned the first and start, the first and last, it will be printing the whole list. But here I said you start from 0, means from this one, and go up to 4, maybe up to here it is going. Now here this list says you start from second index, 0 index to second 1 index, and this one is the second index. It is starting from this one and goes up to 5th index. But one thing else you have to remember, friends, we have the minus or negative indexes also, friends, here. So negative index starts from the end. This one is -1, this one is -2, -3, -4. If you are starting from last, so it starts with minus numbers. Here I say, okay, you start from -5. So what do you mean by -5? -1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is -5. It is starting from this one, from here, and goes up to the last. So here I say you start from 4th index, this is the 4th index, right, and goes up to how much? -2. -2 means this is -1 and this is -2. Let me print this, execute, and you will be seeing the output like this. I hope you understood this. Now some other operations, like here we have a function called append. If you want to add an element to the list, so the list is called fruit, I want to add a new element, this one, pomegranate. If I am adding this pomegranate, so I will be using the function called append. It is adding the element one by one to the list. Here we have another function called extend. This extend and append, there is some difference. If you are using append, one by one you will be adding, but if you are using extend, simultaneously you can add a list of values. Here I have printed, and then again here I just want to know the number of elements, how many elements are there. See, len is used for counting the number of elements within that list. Here I want to count how many times apple is there. This count is different from this one. It will be counting the total number of items within the list, and this will be just counting the occurrence of an element. For example, whether this apple is, how many times it is repeated there. Now let me run and see the output. apple is repeated only once, and then we have 13 elements, and you see the list is extended and appended by those elements. And here we have another function, like if you want to check whether an item is there within the list or not. For that we will be using N. So I say olive is there in the fruit list or not. If it is there, it will be returning true. Yeah, it is there. But if I say whether this one mulberry is there or not, since it is not there, it is returning false. No, it is not there. Then we talked about set, and we say set is collection of distinct elements. The elements will not be repeated. So here I have created a list. I say S is equal to set. So this is a set, and one by one I am adding the elements within this set, like first 1, 2, 3, like that. Let me execute, and we have these elements. Now, for example, if I want to add some other element, let me take the copy of this, paste it here. I want to add like 2 again. Whether this 2 will be added or not. So see, 2 is not added because it is already there. But if I put 5, it will be accepting that. That is why we said collection of distinct values. And then we have decision making statements, which are used for checking the conditions. Like we have if statement, if else statement. I have some example, a basic example here, friends, you will better understand. So what will happen here? Enter a string which starts with S and ends with T. I'm asking the user. So the string, the first thing here, I have used a lower function. This is also a string function. It will be converting the string into lowercase, and that is why, because I want to remove the distinction between uppercase and lowercase. Whether you are entering caps S or small s, both will be considered the same, because first all the strings will be converted into lowercase, and then it will be checking whether the string is started with S or not. If it is started, then this statement will be printed. If it is ended with T, this will be printed. If otherwise, it will be saying no, the string which you have entered is invalid. It is not based on our direction. Let me print this. It is asking for a state. If I say start, so you see here it is saying, yeah, start has started with S, right? Let me write something like student. Yeah, it is started with S. But if I say like okay, like I say cat, it is not started with S but ended with T, so this statement will be executed. Yeah, it is saying has ended with T. But if you are typing something different, like you say pen, what it says, it is invalid string according to our direction. So if you are using like nested if, it means one if within another if is called nested if. Again here see, I have created one if. Within this if, another if is there. And first if, we are checking whether it is started with S or not. And then in second if, we are checking the number of characters, how many characters it has. Right? Now enter a string which starts with S and has more than 5 characters. This is the guide or the direction. If it is according these two conditions, this will be executed. Otherwise, if the first statement is, the first condition is true, but the second is false, it will be executing this one. If the first condition is false, then it comes to the last else and with printing this one. Let me print like the same student. If I put, see, it says student has started with S and has more than 5 characters. No problem. But if you say start, see, the first condition is true, the second condition is not true because the number of characters or less. What it says, has started with S and has how many? Yeah, it is 5 characters. Sorry, it is because here we have put equal also, that is why it is accepting that. But if we say okay str something like that, so it says has started with s, no problem, but less number of characters. And then we talked about loops, friends, and we said loops are used for performing an action repeatedly. So here I have a list of fruits, right? A list is created, and then I want to print the elements of that, and for that I am using while, and I say you start from 0 index. This one is 0 index, so you count the number of elements, how many elements are there. Up to that you have to be incrementing x and then printing the values one by one, like this. It is printing all the elements through indexes. Through indexes I printed all the elements. And instead of while loop, you can be using this one also, friends, like if statement, for loop. And for loop we say for if and fruit. So one by one it will be printing the values like this. But here by the name, we are accessing by the name, not by the index. But through the index also you can access, like here we say for I in range lane of fruit, because at first it has to count how many elements were there, then it will be looping till that element, number of elements, and one by one through the indexes they will be printing. So this is through the indexes and this is through the name. This you have to know the difference between these two, and then we use while loop. So I hope you understood all these things, friends, the basic things from Python, this one, the architecture, and we cover all those topics what we promised here. I hope you understood that. Thanks, friends.